Couldn't let the penny go. Couldn't let the penny Magic jersey go. You know that. Know it had to come home. Now, welcome back. It's your boy Carcino here. Let's get into it. I don't know what's going on with the chat right now. For some reason, I cannot see the chat room. That is very strange. Okay. Well, we're going to try to do this way. That's very odd that my very odd. My live chat is not working right. It ain't one thing, it's another, right? Now, everybody has been acting as if Rory and Mal were like the 1 and 2 most important people in the world who has been misused, who have been put in a box and pushed to the side. As I told you, I have not been following none of this drama between Rory and Mal with Joe and all of that. I have not been following that. So the general public had been informing me and keeping me abreast to the situations of what was going on. So I had to talk to Mako, who's very familiar with the Joe Budden podcast, very familiar with that situation over there. Mako from Jersey. Now, here's the thing. And I want to be very clear to everyone that's out there that has supported the channel. You know, I apologize again for, I have no idea what's happening with the live chat. I'm going to tell you what I know in 1 second. Now, when you start to look at the situation the way it's supposed to be and the way it's outlined, and if you want to donate to the channel, definitely hit up the Cash App. From what I've been seeing and what Mako has told me, here is how it's going. They have it where Rory and Mal are basically on strike, from what he's telling me. Like they're doing a strike type situation. And the reason that this is because it's not really Joe, but it's Joe. And the way Joe tried to today say it's not about money and all of these things, eventually it is about money, but it's more about business, and I'll explain that to you. as we move forward, as I understood it, as Mako was saying it. But let me tell you what Mako said. He said Rory and Maul are basically on strike, and Joe don't know if they're going to come back. But if they do come back, they will always have a place there on the show. This guy named Savan and Ice, they're not going to be there to replace them. Just who Joe could find to hold their spots. Right now, why he did it, he talked to them before they came and did it to try to figure out what happened here. And there seems to be a miscommunication between the two. And according to Joe, it isn't about money. They didn't have a big fight. It's just a misunderstanding, some type of miscommunication. And a lot of people are suffering for what they call business PTSD, right? Mako also said Joe has talked to both Rory and Maul and that they absence and whatever, and say it's all love with them. You know, and he believes that they're going to come back and sit on the couch. Now, Mako said that there's been a lot of tension in the last few weeks between Rory, mostly Rory, and Joe. Now, I did see one episode when Academics was speaking about them a few weeks ago and being very disrespectful. And someone sent me a clip of Rory saying something or Joe speaking a little bit about and bringing him up. And that I seen the disdain there, and I know what's going on there. So I'll be able to give you some insight on that. A lot of it is going to be on the Patreon. So it's going to, you know, make some sense there. The way I look at it from the standpoint I'm at now, looking like it's like looking into the glare of the camera and everything that's included, there have been a lot of problems, a lot of issues going on, and a lot of people haven't been able to understand or even grasp the situation, like say, what the hell? You know, like what's going on here? You know, things are just not making sense. Now, here on the phone, I can see my chat. Here, I can't see the chat. So don't forget to support the page, hit the Cash App up, hit the StreamYard. I mean, blah, blah, blah. Support, join the Patreon and all of those situations right there. Now, Mako also told me, he said it's important that Joe told Rory that it takes some few podcasts off so he can, you know, because the tension is getting so thick. He told Rory go take a few podcasts off. And Rory agreed. So Maul is basically standing with Rory because the whole thing of the situation is this. There are a lot of decisions being made, and Rory and Maul feel like they have no say. So it's not a money situation more than it is a respect thing, a principle thing. It's like, okay, we're getting money, but I don't think that Joe should have the right over all of us to dictate what it should be, who can come on, and we don't have a say. And like, if you're gonna bring academics into this mix, you know, and you just want to do it so it's done, we have a problem with that. Like, our voices don't matter. That's the main issue here. So I want everybody to understand. We're gonna go more into detail on that when we hit the Patreon, but this is where it stands right now. It's more of a respect thing. Maul is standing with Rory. Doesn't think Joe has enough or should not have the end all be all on the situation. Now, it's not about money. Maul already had money coming in, but that's beside the point. It's about principle. But Joe really don't feel the way that they feel. He hears them, but he kind of feel like, listen, I built this. You know, you guys helped and you guys are tremendous, and I would not have probably gotten to this level, but you know, I did like 90, almost 100 shows for no money. There was no money, no sponsors, no nothing. You know, we just did this. And I'm like, he was at the point where he was about to give up doing it. So for everybody who's trying to start a podcast and think like there's automatically money in it and everything else, people got to understand something. You're going to be spending all this money probably for years, probably for 1 or 2 years before anybody really discover your podcast or it gets hot. And like what he's saying is that the structuring of how this is done, it's like it's everybody's new at this. The pay structure, how they are being paid as to how Joe is being paid is not the same. They don't have the same points in ownership that Joe has. So Joe has what you would call the say. He has the final say of what ads come on the show. He has final say as to what anything that happens on the show. And there's never really been a problem until members start being disrespected and you're doing business with the people that's disrespecting your team. And it feels like you're not riding with your team. That's a problem. I knew that when that happened with academics and everything else. When I saw that happening, when academics was being very disrespectful to Rory and Maul, mostly Rory, and Joe is still in concert with him because he's thinking, okay, I can make some money off the back of Act. Because Act right now is, you know, he got his will work for food sign up. And he's trying to kiss up to Charlemagne and Joe to see which one is going to, you know, help him out with his platform or whatever. And, you know, he can ride the coattail of that. So LB said that, since I can't see it here, he said Joe went on IG Live with AK, and we was like, huh? He disowned Rory and Maul? That was sus. My dear old brother Noomsy. What's up, Dempsey? What'd he say? He said it's Joe. They didn't put their own money up and risk. They retarded to think they equal voice to Joe. They can have input, but the final decision is Joe's. Yes, that's true. They never really had a problem with that. And this is what happened when you work with a team. And when you work with a team, you guys got to assess quickly who's the person that's going to be in charge, who's going to make decisions. Don't forget to hit the like button. Everybody's forgetting to hit the like button. That's important. Hit the like button. We should be way over 100 by now. I shouldn't even have to tell people to hit the like button. And see, here's the thing. Now that they've done a deal with Patreon and how the Patreon is structured, and I told you, now that Joe went and saw how my page was structured on my Patreon, and he set his tiers up like that, and now the Patreon money is coming in. And now every first of the month, the Patreon money is coming in. And I bet you it's a whole new cut that those two got to get distributed by Joe. All of them don't get a cut. That goes strictly to Joe. And I'm quite sure Joe pays them handsomely. But still, I cannot be in concert with somebody who's doing that. As I said earlier to you today to you guys, I spoke with Dom is live, and I wanted to know, why are you in concert and friends with 6ix9ine again? Why are you friends with these people with these kind of morals? If you stand on what you stand on and that's principle, how can you be concert or friends with somebody like that? You playing video games with him? You know, that's suspect to me. I really don't like this. Like, I'm trying to figure out what type of person does that. I did not start Patreon, but I was on Patreon before Joe Budden. Joe Budden set up his Patreon tiers to be exactly identical to mine. Those are custom-made tiers. He customizedly made his tiers just like mine because he did not even know what he was doing. He didn't. So he just saw the way I had something set up and said, well, if this guy can do it, I'm Joe Budden. We need to put the Joe Budden podcast here. All because I did a post on him in the Patreon. And he had to pay to see it. And said, this guy's a genius. I just had to pay to see something about me. And I'm Joe Budden. So he had to pay. And he did. He paid for a whole month. Or whoever that person is that he had paid. The reason why I know is because somebody who knows Joe and everybody else didn't already told me. Oh, Joe saw your post. Are you done with the Bulls yet? Are you finished? Are you done? I thought you had them tonight. What you do? Oh, I placed my new bets. I thought I lost 16,000. That's all right. My new bet's in. Oh, I just got logged out. But I paid $48 and I could win $7,000. I'm betting NHL and NBA. Mixing them up, baby. I'm mixing them up. For $48, I get to win. Now, many people out there, like I said, hit the like button if you just got in here. Don't forget to let people know what it is that's going on out there. If you find more information on this than me, we doing a StreamYard tonight? We might. I might do a StreamYard. My thing is I've been doing more business in the morning. So I try to do a StreamYard and I try to stay up and let the guys get in there, let HD and everybody else get going. But then I end up passing out. Well, here's the thing. Joe Budden likes control. He's been in a situation where he didn't have control. He said it's not about money, but then he ends up alluding that, people are just stressed out about the business. They don't like the terms of the business and how it's dealt. And Joe would have to basically give up some control of power. Rory really has the problem that Joe don't seem to understand or want to be willing to help out in this situation here. Joe's trying to blame it on, this is a John Doe business. Nobody really knows how the paying structure is going to work or how the business structure is. But this is what it is right now. And I've worked hard to have this control rather than to give it up. It's basically why he left Complex. It's like, look, I had a baby on the way when I left Complex. You know, my back was on the wall. Most people wouldn't do that. Complex was stupid. They should have purchased the Joe Budden podcast when it was offered to them. They didn't see the value because they don't see the value in hip hop. Complex is not a hip hop place at all. They're not a diverse company. The majority of the people that work there are not African American. And there is a culture differential. A lot of people there, the culture is off. You feel me? So there's a big culture shock. And I'm telling you, right now, if you want to see who Nas and Prodigy was dissing from Queensbridge, that is on the Patreon today. You find out what happened to the Real Brothers podcast that we used to do here. That wasn't a podcast, but what we did. You find out what happened, why that stopped. You find out Biggie feeling what sealed Biggie Small's fate. We done that on the Patreon as well. So our Casino for Life Patreon is probably dwarfs his. We already dwarfs of Joe Budden's. They just talking. We doing. We making history. Nobody's talking the stuff we talking. So I take the Pepsi challenge to that any day of the week. So you want to hold up Joe Budden podcast versus our stuff, our content? Come on down the line, because I got one video that could beat them. They can't deal with one of ours. There's facts. Yeah, I got to look down because my right here, for some reason, they don't have my chat. So I got to look at the chat on the phone. Joe Budden is making millions of dollars. That's good. Joe Budden deserves to make millions of dollars. Hit the like button for Joe Budden making millions of dollars. He deserves it. You know how hard it was for Joe? Joe was one of the first guys on the internet. I mean, back when they had like Yahoo Messenger, getting punched in the eye by Raekwon. Imagine if YouTube was out and he got punched in the eye by Raekwon and his guy. I just got punched in the eye. He's still in the room with the dudes who punched him. It's like, where they do that at? No, YouTube was out in 2005, not 2004. Came out in 2005. And when it came out in 2005, I was one of the first members to sign up for YouTube. Google didn't even own it yet. You only can make a video for 5 minutes, and that was it. That was only long you could do, buddy. 5 minutes. So whatever video you had to do or whatever you had to say, you had 5 minutes. That was it. And it was nothing like what it was. I had an account and didn't really add anything. It's not like as soon as I got the account, I started posting stuff. I didn't. The very first video I posted, people know, was Floyd Mayweather entrance live from the fight. I was there with Floyd. He was fighting Carlos Baldomir, and that was in 2006. So that was almost a year after YouTube had been out before I posted anything. And I posted that ring entrance of Floyd coming towards the ring as the gladiator from my own camera. They tried to sue. HBO tried to say, hey, that's ours. said, no, that's from me. And then if you watch the actual HBO version, you get to see me standing right there in a suit with the camera recording it. So that was my first YouTube video. I don't have that account no more because like I told you, I didn't know nothing about copyright, nothing. I'm just recording stuff off TV, doing commentary. I don't know what the next thing you know, I'm flagged. I'm like, how am I got 3 strikes already. So yeah, I didn't know it was no precedence of how to deal or do any of this stuff. So I just started talking about boxing because I'm like, look, I'm in the boxing world. So I wish I had some of those Carcino videos because the page was just called Carcino. That was it. Then came Carcino 2, which I got that account back. So the Carcino 2 account I brought that back. And that was been going since 2009. So I had the Carcino channel for 3 years. Then this channel that Carcino 2 channel from 2009 to now. This Carcino for Life, because they had shut down Carcino 2 over a flag I shouldn't have had. So I had to fight to get that channel back, but I wasn't finna wait while they go and review it. So I said, this is it. If they shut this channel down, I'm done. I'm quitting. This is my last one. And I said, it ain't going to be Carcino 3. This is Carcino for Life. That's it. And my very first video on here was like 2009, 2010. I'm telling you what happened on the last account and what it just went down. And we've been here ever since. It's been a long journey, buddy. This is the longest running one we've had, but we got the Carcino 2 account back now. So that one we mostly use for the Patreon to make sure we get you guys the exclusive content that you guys wanted to see. It's a lot of stuff about the industry you never knew, but you know now if you're on the Patreon. So yeah, it's strange, man. I named some names. I'm trying to think, should I put this wrestling thing out there? Oh, yeah. And the Rick James stories, we might be moving that to Patreon. So the Rick James stories might be just going straight to Patreon. Because the Rick James stories is hard to tell without it getting really explicit. So it's going to get really uncut. Now it's going to get ramped up. So, yeah, because if we over there uncut, oh, man, y'all finna hit the floor, man. Y'all are going to hit the floor. And we might do that on April the 1st. April the 1st, you might get that ultimate Rick James story. Ultimate. You're going to hear the story about Rick James versus Don King's bodyguard. You think Charlie Murphy told you something that's hilarious. Wait till you hear that story. Oh my God. When you hear that, Jesus Christ, I'm going to have to put that Patreon only. Patreon only for that one. There is too many explicit things that YouTube don't like in that video. So anyway, make sure all you guys are subscribed to the page. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Some of you people were not subscribed, were not getting your notifications and all of this stuff because of some error they had your notifications turned off. Make sure it's turned on so that you can get all your notifications, not half, not some, all of them. So make sure you might be subscribed, but check again and make sure you hit that bell, because they've made a lot of alterations, a lot of changes lately, and you want to make sure that you're getting your notifications. Like right now, like it went out. I'm shocked just like you. It's like it's like rolling dice out here. What's supposed to work don't always work. Can we get 200 likes? I know, right? It's like, what's going on with the like button? If you want to support the page, my Cash App is Carceno, Karceno. Just to let you know. I understand Joe's point, and I understand their point. But what Joe has to realize is this. What Joe Budden has to realize is this, and he really needs to understand it. You have to understand that when you're on a team, this is going to happen. And not everybody is mentally caught into they're on the same wavelength. If everybody's in the room, everybody's got their own goals, their own ambitions, and their own dreams. And not everybody's going to see things your way. Well, that's one. He's done a great job of getting everybody that's around him with the understanding of his comfort. You need to have a day one in the room with you. Somebody at least to keep you grounded. Like, dude, you can't never get too big. We know you. So you got to have that day one guy who understands everything that goes on. So anyhow, with that being said, a whole lot of scenarios took place that other people would not understand. There were a lot of issues within the Joe Budden team, and getting to where they are. But it's not a jealousy thing. It's more of okay, we all got money, but if we're friends, if somebody respect us, and you're trying to party with somebody else because you can make money with him because you guys had some success on another station or complex where you in academics, but yet he's talking down to the people that's on your platform right now while you have this successful show. You're not on complex no more. We're making a lot more money now than we did on complex. Okay? Than you did when you was on complex. You're making way more money now. Millions you're making. So you want to make sure that this isn't about millions. This is about respect of the team. It's like, look, you got a person that you're doing business with who's disrespecting us. And they think it's cool. And you're allowing it to be cool to diss us on your platform. It's the Joe Budden podcast. He can't diss you. And then you have the nerve to bring his name up on the show. And we can't feel a certain way about that. You could bring his name up at any time, and we're going to be quiet on it because we don't want to talk about that guy. You want to bring his name up on the show and talk about him and put him in good lights and all this, and he's disrespecting us sitting side by side. I can't call you my friend. How can you be friends with somebody that's doing that to the people that's working with you, helping you and your platform? So that's how Rory would feel. So I understand how Rory feels. And Joe, if he can't see or understand that, That's the only thing that really, and that's why they would have a problem with the power structure, because you get to say what goes and what don't go. Meanwhile, they have to deal and deal with that situation. And for them, that's kind of toxic. And he probably got personal issues to deal with, plus the business side of, he don't feel that he feel like we should go back to the table and have a conversation and discuss all this. Like, there's love here, there's no disrespect there, but I don't think that business wise, we need to have a conversation. Conversations need to be had business wise. We need to clear our heads, take a couple of days, come back and get it right. Well, it's not like I'm saying, Maul already had money before they got there. But Joe recognizes that they bring something to the table. They have a good balance. I agree. They have a good balance. What he had with academics and Nadeska was a good balance for what they were doing, but you're not getting any information. Like, you don't learn anything from that. It's really what you would call a it show. That was it. It was a real show. And it was because you got a guy who's a millennial in academics. You have Nadeska, who's basically, just out there, millennial, liberal, not a good moderator, just a very good person to people and all that. That's her strength. Then you have Joe, Mr. Pessimistic, negative energy who dominates the room. So when he yells and talks, the young people are like, look, he's not even listening to Egg. So he's always chastising him. You do that, and yelling, and Nadeska's not doing her job. She don't know what to do. No, can we? Come on, guys. Come on. Oh, come on, guys. Can we just No, see, no. And then Joe's going off. I'm fine. I'll just let him talk. I'm done. That's it. I'm done. I said it. No, I said everything I wanted to say. I'm done. Go ahead. No, Ed, you go. So once this goes on over and over again, all it is basically Joe is sunning academics every week. You don't know anything, Ack. And Ack could be, well, but okay. No, check it out. No, I know you're right. No, Joe, I know you know the business. Okay, Joe, I know you're right. But these new guys, Blue Serum Killer Man, how can you say his song ain't up there with Drake? Look how many clicks it got. So when you start seeing that, you're not learning anything. What you're learning is that you could be dumbed down to watching this for hours. It's like it would drive you insane watching something as stupid as that. That's not progressive. You could learn something watching the Joe Budden podcast. Some of the episodes that I liked from the Joe Budden podcast, people don't talk about. Those will be one of their lowest rated shows. But those will be the most informative shows that the people need to be listening to. Rory would have a very good information about things about the business or whatever topic it is. He has some information that's very vital. Even why Joe, the popular ones is, of course, when Joe goes on a rant and starts ranting about something and people all feel like, oh, well, Joe's ranting. So this is huge. And they gravitate towards the rant. But they don't really focus on the information. Maul is the negative energy. Maul hates everything. Everybody thinks Joe is the negative energy. On the podcast, he's different than how he was on this show, Everyday Struggle. It's not the same Joe. That's what I'm saying. When he had State of the Culture and all that stuff, it was two different energies. He was the moderator on State of the Culture. Okay? Here, he's mostly Joe Budden, the rapper. Okay, so he's Joe Budden, the rapper, who gets to go ahead and talk. Here, he's really debating with academics, or basically sunning him on Everyday Struggle. Here, he can just let his hair down and be Joe and hit the button. So my thing is, I don't hate the Joe Budden podcast. A lot of people think I hate it. I never said I hated the Joe Budden podcast. Never. People assume. They just made that decision up themselves, and that was that. Now, Joe Budden, is he an a-hole, and did he do a lot of stuff? Yeah, of course he did in his career. He's probably atoned for a lot of his misbehaviors he's done in the past. You know, of course, he was an addict. He did a lot of things that wasn't progressive for his career. I'm quite sure he probably made an amends. If he did, if he didn't, I don't really know. That's up to him. But, like I said, that's up to him. Now, let's look at big picture. Moving forward, how they're going to move. If I'm in concert with somebody, or somebody's on my team that I feel like we work together and we're both building a platform together, we're on a unit. If you dissing one, you dissing all. So it'd be like, hey, you exclude my name out of it. I'd be like, did my mans do something to you? He on my team. So if you talking down to him, you making people that watch us feel different about us. That's feeling different about my show. That's feeling different about me. You playing with my money. Playing with my money is like playing with my emotions. So if you dissing one, you dissing the show. You dissing with Rory and Maul, you dissing the Joe Budden podcast. Joe ain't seeing it that way. That's a problem. And by not addressing that problem has led to the situation going unchecked. It's building up stress and resentment. So when that stress and resentment come up, people are going to want to challenge you having the power and the say. Had you used your power correctly, because all you got to do is tell Act, shut the F up. Act, yeah, shut the F up. Don't mention Rory and Maul ever again. No. They came to my house. Yo, they got to be dealt with. Act, I will smack you with your controller. Shut up. I'm not mesmerized here. Okay? It's over. Stop. You say another word, and I won't help you make another quarter. All right. I'm going to just chill. I'm going to chill. Okay? I'm going to go on Twitch and talk real hard from the basement. Make sure you lock your house doors first. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. All right. So, anyway, that's what he's going to do. Now, academics owes a lot of his everything to Joe for giving him the opportunity. Academics was given an opportunity to be on an MTV show by Charlemagne, and Charlemagne gave him a chance. He went out there and he failed really poorly. Joe gave him the opportunity to come on here and and be his guest. Complex turned him down. MTV turned him down. Joe fought to get academics in there and said, no, that's the guy I want to work with. Because the other guys, he could not sit in front of Lord Jamal and tell Lord Jamal, look, you don't know. He'd been like, what? What you say to me, Joe? Right. So that wouldn't have worked. I mean, as far as an information hip hop show, that would have worked. But as far as what they want is clickbaity type things, Ack was the better fit, because Ack is somebody they can have a yelling with. I mean, like the time he faked, threw something on the floor and did this little stage thing. No, y'all dissing my platform. And threw something on the floor. It was so phony. That's because the numbers were low. They were trying to have we got to pick this up. We need a pick me up. Throw that on the floor, Ack. Oh, yeah, the Penny Hardaway. Woo, I had to get it. I saw the penny in there. I said it had to come home. Penny had to come home. I had to get a size too big. I'm not extra large. I'm a large. I know a lot of people think I'm fat, but I'm not. I get that a lot till they see me in person and they go, damn, dude, you cut up like a bag of dope. It's like, yep, I know. So now, situations change. What's up, Mr. Bailey? Lex, I see you. Yeah, that's Mitchell and Ness. Make sure my head don't get too big. You got to give me a lot of money for that to happen. I got to get a lot more money for that to happen. So, overall, you're looking at a situation where these guys are going to have to come to an agreement. Like, you want to have people happy in their work environment. You're responsible now, whether you like it or not, for all of these people's lives. Hit the like button, y'all. We should be way over 200 likes. What are y'all doing right now? And if you ain't subscribed to the Casino for Life Patreon, you're going to miss out. I don't want y'all to miss out. And then if y'all miss that Rick James story, y'all going to be sick. Y'all going to be sick. Yeah, well, you got to understand it's a lot of hard work and effort, a lot of sacrifice, shoot. I got a girl that I would love to see right now, but I can't see her right now. She working, I'm working. It's just the way it is. We got to make an appointment on the schedule to see each other. But hey, people do things. They got business going on. That's what they do. That's what grown-ups do. Got to handle that business. Will we make 200 likes? Everybody's out there trying to get to 200 likes. We're on the cusp. Oh my God. It's done. There it is. Ding, 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 ding. He made it to 200 likes. Oh Oh man, what could I say? Ooh, PS5 time. Where's T? I hope T at home now. I can tear everybody up right now. 5 the band. We're gonna get the 5 cracking. Yeah, we put in a lot of work, man. So I deserve to have a little break from the action. Man, we got a lot of videos coming your way. A lot of videos. So on that note, thank you for tuning in. We out.